Come on.
Get down on it. Get down on it. Get down, hey, get down on it. It's your girl, Lady Mocha, representing with Cafe de Paris. And y'all know I'ma always get down on it. I'ma get down on it with the best topics, with the best words of wisdom. You know how I come from. You know how I rep. I want to thank y'all for tuning in with your girl, Lady Mocha. Welcome to Cafe de Paris, where you know I'm always pouring you a cup of truth, and I'm always cutting you off a slice of knowledge. You know, that's how I operate. Thank all of you guys for tuning in and checking out my video today. And you know, I'm always coming up with some new recipes, meaning some new topics that I'm sure that you will really find appetizing to your knowledge. Okay, so on today's menu, we're definitely going to be talking about step parenting. Okay, I know a lot of y'all out there will be able to relate to this particular message today. So on that note, we definitely gonna go into this topic right away. I thought it was very imperative because there are so many people out there, men and women, and particularly especially women, who have a difficulty as far as being a parent to your companion's child, especially when they have another parent involved that's uncooperative, inconsiderate, and unfortunately, because you are with their other half who helped them to produce that child, it's unfortunately something you're going to be stuck having to deal with as long as you're with the father or the mother of the child, or whatever the case may be. So I want to thank you for tuning in. I thought it was imperative that I do this message because either you're a step parent or you're in a situation where you know you can possibly become a step parent, especially if you're really feeling this man or you're feeling this woman and you know they have children from a previous relationship. First off, let me start off by saying there's not too many of us out here that's going to avoid being a step parent, okay? Especially if you're a guy, you know what I'm saying? You 9 times out of 10, the odds of meeting a woman with no children is slim to none, okay? I am 37 years old and got 1 child, and people look at me like I'm from another planet when I tell them that. They just don't want to believe it, you know. So unfortunately, and I'm not surprised that they look at me that way, and especially the fact that I've been married to the same man for 17 years and had my child from my husband, because they don't see that too much. That's very rare that you really run into somebody that don't have a bunch of kids, or if they do have a child, they've been in the same solid relationship for a long time, you know. Basically, you know, just some of us plan our lives out a little bit better than others. You know, I was always the kind of female, I didn't want to have random men in and out of my life. I didn't want to have different children, you know, put it that way. You know, none of my relationships was perfect. You know, I had to go through some relationships until I met the right person, but I made sure until I met the right person that I did not put myself in a position to have any children by somebody that I knew I wouldn't want to spend a lifetime with. I didn't want that burden for myself, and I didn't want that burden for my child or my children. So, but you know, a lot of us, you know, we didn't always have the right guidance, or you know, we get caught up in the moment, you know, things happen, you know, but some of us learn quicker than others, you know what I'm saying? But I really want to help many of you out. That's why I want to do this topic about step parenting. I want you to know the things that you're possibly going to be going through if you decide to be a step parent, and if you are a step parent, how you could combat drama and negative issues from arising between you and the parent of that child. Okay, so we're going to go head on forward. All right, like I said earlier, you know, we just have to just face the fact that we're not going to avoid meeting someone that doesn't already have a family or kids before dating you. keep in mind, I am a homebody. Most of the time when y'all see me do videos, I'm always have on my house clothes. I'm like an old lady in a little girl's body. I don't really do company. I don't really go too many places. If I do go, it's with my husband or my daughter. So y'all gonna see me looking plain Jane a lot for the most part. I'm not, y'all, my videos, I'm not always gonna be styled out and wearing all kind of nice clothes, because I'm always home and I'm chilling. I'm in chill mode. I like to do my videos in chill mode. I'm in my house clothes, have my cup of coffee. I'm in my little women's den where I got my little TV, my little incense and everything going on. So I'm comfortable in my skin or whatever when I do my videos. But that's the first point. You're not going to meet hardly anybody that doesn't have children, okay? So the odds of you becoming a step parent is very high, okay, unfortunately. But there are a few things you have to keep in mind if you decide to become a step parent. The message I do today, I will address both stepmothers and stepfathers that are involved in relationships with mates that have children from prior relationships. Basically, over the weekend, you know, I take my phone and I write my little notes down so I can remember all of my ideas and actually the points that I really want to address in the video that I'm submitting for you today. But on that note, the first thing that I feel that a lot of people need to be aware of, if you're going to get involved with the person that has children, make sure you like children, okay? It's a simple thing. I know it sounds silly, but 9 times out of 10, there's going to automatically be changes, okay? So relationships alone already have challenges. That's with or without children. So just imagine if you don't like kids and you are in a relationship with a person, okay? That's just going to add way more complications to the relationship, okay? So you just have to really think about that. So if you have a phobia with other people's children, it would only complicate things. Even if you have your own children, because let's face it, I hate to say this, but this is the way I look at it with children. Children are like a fart. You might can tolerate your own, but you're not going to have that same tolerance when it comes to dealing with somebody else's. Okay, dealing with somebody else's is way more hideous, okay? So you have to be very careful that you have a love for children. If you don't, eventually it's going to show. Because as time goes on and you are with this companion, you're not going to be able to put up a front but for so long that you like these children, because things are going to happen. You're going to get in a situation where as a step parent, you may have to discipline, you may have to train, you're going to have to get involved somewhere. So never fool yourself into believing that you can be with the person and never have to interact or never have to get involved with the children. That's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? That's a package deal. You're not going to be able to get around it. So do not psych yourself up into believing that you can have a relationship with the man or the woman and totally exclude the children. It's not going to work. I'm just letting you know that now. You're not going to be able to really avoid it but so much. Realize it comes as a package deal. That's the first thing you just have to keep in mind. Just really make sure you like children, because if you don't like children, it's going to show. Because believe me, a situation is going to come up where your companion is going to look for you and going to count on you to be there. Whether if it just means taking that child in, you know, just till the parent gets on their feet, or you're not going to be able to get around it. So just keep that in mind, okay? Second thing that I also include in my notes, realize that it's never just going to be you and him or you and her. That significant other will always be in your lives if children are involved. Meaning you and your partner will never be able to make all the decisions for that child without the other parent say so. It's common sense. It's just the way it is. You know, what people have to realize is when you get involved with the person who has children, it's never going to be just you and that person against the world. Y'all are not going to be able to call all the shots for that child unless that parent is deceased or mentally not in the right mind or something like that. You know, for the most part, whatever decision your mate makes is going to affect you in the process of it. And y'all don't get to just make the decisions for that child. You're going to have to consent with that mother. You know, when ladies, you can't get involved with the man and figure you can help him make all the decisions, and the woman, the mother of the child has no say so. That's not going to happen. Same thing for the men. You're not going to be able to make decisions for that child with the woman you're with and not to accept that father. But I will give the men this. I really can't fault y'all too strongly, because men, y'all always have handled things a little bit more diligently when it comes to situations like this. Y'all already know the bottom line is when y'all meet a woman, she's going to have kids, whoop de woo. Y'all not as catty as women. Y'all not as emotional as women. So y'all don't never take things where it don't really need to go. You have a few men that do that, but for the most part, men are very logical thinkers. Y'all think logically. Y'all don't allow y'all emotions to really get involved unless you know, it affects your children or your child is getting hurt. You know, that's for the most part when men, y'all really take it down when y'all have to. Women, on the other hand, are some catty ass heifers. We don't handle things in that matter. We don't look at things that way because we're always looking at it emotionally. We don't look at things logically for the most part. Again, women, I'm pointing this directly towards y'all for the simple fact that a lot of times, you know, even when we're doing things out the goodness of our hearts, you know, we want so badly to make sure that we're being heard and we're not being overlooked, and that the men we are with who have these children from these men, from these other women, are not just making decisions that are best for them and that woman. But what you have to be concerned is that they're making decisions that's best for the child. And just realize you're not going to be able to be with him and call all the shots for that child. It will not go that way. If you think that that's what's going to happen, you can be with a man who has children and you add your 2 cents in and they're going to automatically just go along with what you want and what you feel. That's not going to always happen. You may, depending on how the mother is, she may be reasonable and hear you out. The father, of course, he'll probably be reasonable and hear you out, and he may even try to do, you know, what makes you happy in a sense. But again, y'all cannot make any decision without that other parent. Okay, it's just not going to happen. That other woman is going to be in y'all lives for the rest of y'all lives. So unless you're ready for that, unless you're ready for every event you go to, every birthday party this child has, graduation, wedding events, every event, just realize you're going to always have to see her. You're going to always have to deal with her. But keep in mind, she got to always deal with you too. So guess what? Everybody's not getting what they want out of the situation. It really don't matter. Everybody's got to sacrifice something. She probably no more comfortable with you having to be in your child's life than you feel having to be in that child's life. So that's the way it is. Everybody going to have to deal with everybody. So that's the second one. Keep in mind that the other issue with being a step parent is the other parent likes to use every opportunity to be difficult because she's bitter or still has feelings. I know a lot of you women out there can definitely relate to this. And guys, just keep in mind, I really want y'all to tune into this message too, because you may be with a woman that's having a hard time bonding with your children, or maybe some things that you don't have any clarity on as to why two women can't get along for the sake of the child. So please tune into this video. Hopefully there's something you can learn from it too, even though this is more specifically for the women. But I want to also be able to help y'all as well, because you're with another woman that's in your future, but then you have the mother of your child. And I know it's very complicated trying to please two women, let alone one at one time. So definitely I want you to try to learn something from this video. That's just a lot of women, again, who are in this situation. I know a lot of y'all understand where I'm coming from. Some women just like to be damn difficult. You can be doing things for their children out the kindness of your heart, and because they have such a malicious intent, you can do something for good, but they're going to find reason to make you look like you're doing it for bad. I can totally relate. I was in a situation not too long ago where one of my stepdaughters actually had a going away function. She actually got recruited, and I definitely wanted to show my support because it's not too many young black women who make good career choices, and just the fact that she decided to do something different with her life other than be the typical baby mom or whatever. I was really proud of her on that she was making a decision that was going to have a positive impact. So I don't know about everybody else, but when it comes to positivity, I love to acknowledge especially young black people, because they don't get enough acknowledgement, or if anything, we give them a lot of acknowledgement for the wrong things. I mean, think about it. How many parents do you know who will celebrate? It's not too many, it's some, but it's not too many that celebrate the fact their child is going off to college, their child is going into the military, their child made it out of high school with no babies. I mean, their child got a job. We overlook all the positive things, but the crazy part is, let something negative happen and we ride up on it. We quit to support it. Soon as Pookie get out of jail, we throwing him a cookout. Soon as Kiki have a baby, even though she's not married, barely got out of high school, we throwing her a baby shower. That's how backwards society is, and we wonder why our children are so screwed up, because we don't praise them enough for the right things. But anything that's going to stunt their growth or possibly hinder their future, we are so quick to support foolishness. You know what I'm saying? So I, for once, wanted to support this young lady doing something really positive for her life. Okay, so basically, I went to my husband and I told him, I feel like, y'all should throw something for her, or do, do something positive. We always throwing baby showers, doing this and that. When is this young lady going to get acknowledged for her positive effort? And he agreed. So I said, well, against my better judgment, I already felt kind of funny about even initiating this function, for the simple fact that I had never had a solid, good relationship with the mother. It's always been some hateration thing. It's always been a lot of pettiness, and it's always been a lot of immaturity. So I already was feeling out of my element, just the fact of initiating it. But I figured, well, I need to put all my differences aside and not worry about that. So I got with my mom, explained to her, and she was down. So we gathered up all the decorations. I even picked a place that automatically catered the food. That way nobody had to make no food and buy this and buy ingredients. Just show up. And the only thing that I asked was everybody pay for their own plate. My husband was gonna make sure her and her friends were covered, but all the adults needed to cover themselves. So being that I know how black folks are when it comes to paying for things, not all black folks, but you got some black folks, especially those who love to get over, that's so quick to try to find excuses for not wanting to pay for something, because the whole actuality is, some people don't really like to pay for anything. They only want to be on board with something when they ain't got to come out their pocket. So to avoid all of that, I figured if I let everybody know months in advance, it wouldn't be a problem. Okay, because I ain't want to ambush nobody at the last minute, for nobody to come up with no excuses like I didn't get my check, I ain't had my money, my debit card is overdrafted. I put the word out there, and being that me and her really don't get along that well, and I guess my husband, he does his best, but you sometimes, no matter how good you do, if another person is just straight uncooperative, it's just a waste of gas, really. And basically that's the type of female she is. But moving forward, me and my mom, we did all the planning, and my husband, let me roll with the ball. And I had to get my sister-in-laws involved, my husband's sisters and everything in there, because I can't pull this off by myself. I need to make sure somebody other than me and my mom doing it. So she stepped in and she did her part. So everything was copacetic. When it came down to the menu, again, I put text messages out there, I Facebooked it, let everybody know, because I think the plates was like $8 a plate, or like $9 per plate, which ain't no money. Okay, so I put put the messages out there 1,000 times. Nobody had a problem with it. Now, the only other thing I did do was I told everybody that the place would be at 10. I add like another $1 or $2 because I wanted everybody to tip the waitresses, because I knew it was going to be a good bit of people there. And the bottom line is everybody don't have the courtesy to tip waitresses, and I just have an issue with that. I just thought it would be fair, and instead of begging people to tip, I just automatically included it in. That way, whatever was left over, all the waiters could be paid and everybody would be hunky-dory. Well, she went so far as to call in the place, and because she saw it was $1 more than what the menu said, she tried to make a big deal out of that and make it look like I was trying to get extra money for myself or whatever the case is. And my thing is, this is your daughter's function. If you was really that concerned, why didn't you call me in the first place, you know what I'm saying, and sit down and talk to me like a woman? No, you decided you waited for any little thing you could find to make a big deal out of it. Okay, so basically she had gotten, you know, her family up in an uproar, I guess, you know, and I'm not really sure, but she made things sound more complicated and made it more difficult than what it was, to the point, you know, my stepdaughter was almost upset about it, you know, and I understand this is her function. She wants to be happy and all of this other stuff. So something I'm doing out the kindness of my heart, she tried to sabotage it. And unfortunately, when you are a step parent, that comes with the territory. When you're dealing with the significant other's ex-mate, if they have their own bitterness or if they have their own personal resentment, it don't matter what you do. They're going to try to find fault and try to make it for bad, and that's exactly what pretty much happened. So you know, she tried to sabotage things because she wasn't looking at the fact that this was being created for your daughter. Just the fact that my hands was in it, you wanted to make it complicated, basically. So she called my husband with all this mess and why we got to pay and this your daughter function. I mean, like, really? You grown, you and your guests can't pay $9 a plate, you know what I'm saying? So I already figured out what she was trying to do. You just didn't want to pay, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I guess if you're struggling that bad, I mean, it is what it is. So my husband, you know, he did not want to make things complicated. So he went ahead and he just said, you know what, I'm just covering everybody. We ain't even got to worry about this, my daughter event. I got everything. We good. I said, okay, you know, no problem. And I said, but be careful with that, because you got to realize you're dealing with somebody that's hood. When you tell hood people you got everything, they take things to the extent of the extent, and that's exactly what she did. That's why I tell you, men, don't always be concerned with what a woman got on her head. Be concerned about what she got in her head, because I was wise enough to know that she was going to try to pull a fast one on my husband, and I figured it out before she even went there. I said, be careful, because now that you done put that out there, she may really take that and run with it. And that's exactly what she tried to do, because she tried to invite everybody. She invited her boss, she invited her mailman, she invited the neighbor across the street, tried to intentionally invite a bunch of people just to try to break his pockets, you know what I mean? So basically, I told him what was going on, and he was like, no. So he spoke with her and said, no, I'm not doing all that. I'm covering immediate family, this and that. So she had to, I guess, call all the people back and face that humiliation of saying, oh, you know, I can only bring a certain amount of people and this and that. But she still was dirty about it, because when he said immediate family, all she did was put in the family to replace the people, all the bosses and all other people that was already on the guest list. Okay, but it was cool. He covered everything, he handled everything, and you know, that's why after the function was over, I thanked everybody who participated, and I did not thank her for the simple fact that she did not do her part. She did not call me. She did not ask, what can I do, or what can we do together? No, you was too busy trying to pimp somebody, you know what I'm saying, because you still angry and you still in your feelings about stuff from years ago. And you know, unfortunately, you got some women that can hold on to grudges. internally. They could take it to their grave. And ever since then, I've said, you know what? I've just learned that whatever I do for the children, I have to do it personally between me and them. I give them something personally. I never wanted to, do another function or anything, because having to deal with somebody that's going to try to sabotage it for their own benefit. I'm a grown woman. I'm not even about to put myself in that situation. Once you show me your left hand, I'm not going to sit around unless you show me your right hand. But that's the point that I'm making. I know I'm way off the subject, but it just goes to show you some of these stepmothers, some of these baby mamas, you are opportunist. They look for any reason to try to ruin things. And for the simple fact that they are bitter, they're not in a good place in their life. So misery likes company, because if you're doing good and you're happy with yourself and you're happy with your life, you don't have time to be going around here taking things to the extent, calling restaurants and checking up on prices and all kind of stuff. To me, that's just that's very little. That's very preschool to me. You know what I'm saying? That a woman has to stoop that low to try to prove a point and not even realize you sabotaging your child's moment. And some of these baby mamas will do that. They will sabotage their own children's moment just to prove a point. So that's the third point. Sometimes the other parent just likes to be difficult because they're miserable. Okay, so as a step parent, be prepared that you may be dealing with that. Okay. The next point I want to make, which is the fourth point, keep in mind that you can become attached and left disappointed. It takes parents to teach a child how to be grateful. This is very true. Realize that not all children are taught to be appreciative and grateful. I taught my daughter since she was 2-3 years old. When somebody gives you something, you say thank you. When somebody buys you something, you say thank you. You say I appreciate it. I have heard from so many step parents that their own stepchildren will not say thank you, will not say I appreciate it. And I blame the parent for that, because these kids don't come here knowing to say thank you. That takes parents to teach them. You have to teach your children how to be grateful, because if you don't teach your children how to be grateful, they become ungrateful adults. They become spoiled brats. And what happens is they walk around with this attitude like the world owes them everything. And these are the kind of kids that end up in prison, or these are the kind of kids that end up in bad situations, because their parents have already given them that type of mentality that you don't have to be thankful or grateful for anything. So what happens is people stop doing for you. People stop looking out for you. People don't even want no parts of you because they already know you're ungrateful. And this is what we set our children up for failure, based on the fact that sometimes the baby mother has so much dislike for for her child's father and his companion, that she's willing to put her own children's morals and values at stake by not teaching them to be grateful and appreciative. And that's why as a step parent, you have to be careful, because sometimes you can put yourself out there so much and so far, and being that child has not been taught to be grateful and appreciative, everything you've done, it won't even mean anything to them. And if you're a very sentimental person like I am, it can really hurt your feelings. It can really make you feel like you're nothing, and sometimes people that have a heart made of gold, we put 1,000 out there, we expect 1,000 back. And that's the dangerous part sometimes about being a step parent. You can become attached to these kids. You can become attached. You can end up growing such a strong bond for them, and when the parent has the power to pull a rug from up under your foot by teaching that child not to like you or not to appreciate you, it could really make you feel very insignificant. So again, anybody who gets in this situation, really do your research before you get involved. Date this person. That way you can have an idea when you're around the kids how they bond with the father, or how the mother has programmed the children to treat you, or program the children how to see you. You have to be careful with that. Again, and this takes time. You got to be around this person for a while. This ain't something you just gonna pick up with 2-3 dates and 1-2 cookouts. That's just something that you really have to strongly consider. And in some cases, you know, again, it's times too, if you learn to keep your cool and still be a giving person no matter what, you know, after a while the kids will see that their mother is the one obviously who got an issue. Because if the mother's programming in their mind, oh, she ain't this, she ain't that, you ain't got to call her mama, you ain't got to do that. But when they come around you and see that you treat them with kindness, you treat them with respect, they're going to eventually see that what their mom's saying is not adding up with how you're really treating them. So at the same token, it can backfire too, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes, you know, these baby moms will intentionally try to make the kids not like you, so you don't like them, and that way there's already like a wedge between the both of you, and that way she can continue to keep programming them like, see, I told you she don't like you, I told you that's why you don't need to be around her. So sometimes you got to learn to do the opposite of what people expect you to do. It all depends, but I notice in most cases it kind of works when they're younger. As they get older, is no matter how good you are, sometimes it's kind of hard to reprogram their way of thinking. So again, you got to kind of play it by ear if it's best to still be kind, or to take that sign like, you know what, I don't need to put myself out there any further. So that's just something you have to kind of like really contemplate on to make sure, you know what I'm saying. But just be careful putting yourself out there, especially when it comes to children that have been taught how to be ungrateful. Now this is for stepdads. Sometimes your lady has a way of making her child's father look bad, when in actuality he wanted to be there, but she wouldn't let him. Some of y'all find out the hard way when it's done to y'all. This point I really want to address for the stepfathers out there. Now your stepdads, you meet these women, you know, you come into their life, you accept the fact they have children, okay, you really feeling this woman, you really want to be with her, you've grown to love her and accept her baggage or whatever. Now she's up here bad mouthing the father of her child to you and making it like this man is a bum, he don't care about his kids, but she's not up there telling you about all the things he had to go through with her, you know. So you have a lot of men, you got some men that come in empathizing with the woman, and when the dude comes around to see his kids, you know, he's already sizing them up and looking at him based on a perception that she has given him. Okay, and some of y'all already have attitudes with these baby daddies, not even understanding that he may have wanted to be there, but being that she's so difficult, she's so nasty and so malicious, he couldn't be there for her. Because some people just make it hard. It's the God's honest truth. Some women make it hard for men to be there for their kids. They will sit up here and play victim to the court systems. They will play victim to the new man. They will play victim to their baby father's wife. He don't never come get the kids, and you are this and that, you know. And a lot of it is their fault. You know, there are some cases with men who just really don't give a damn about their kids. But the ones who do care, I notice the men who do care, they are the ones that get the hardest time. The men who don't give a damn, these women be trying to pull them by their foot to get them to be there for their kids. And these men be like, shit, I ain't got time for that. I'm doing me, I'm doing whatever. It's always been like that. The men who don't care, the women be begging them to be there. And the men who want to be there, these women try their damnness to try to, you know, smother them like gravy and try to suffocate them, you know, by tormenting them, by not letting them see their kids. You know what I'm saying? So you men, y'all come in these situations, some of y'all, not all y'all, some of y'all come in these situations empathizing and sympathizing with this woman until that happens to y'all. Then you and her fall out. Y'all ain't together no more. You going through the same thing that the first dude went through before you got in the picture. You know, so when you meet these women, study her, study how she treats the child's father, study what he has to go through. That's giving you a strong indication of what you're going to be dealing with when y'all have a child together, okay? So don't be quick to jump on board with these women who come to you with these soap opera, you know, love and hip hop stories about my baby daddy ain't no good. I got to beg him for money, honey. You will find out. I know a lot of men who found out, and when it was their turn, the first thing they said say, oh, I know she gonna try, she gonna do to me what she did to the last guy. You're damn skippy. So you better be very careful jumping to these women defense, okay? Like I said, if it don't apply, you ain't got to reply. You know who you are, okay? So that's for your stepdads. Now back to the women. Some children are just plain disrespectful. Some children are just plain disrespectful. Some of these parents, especially these bitter baby mamas, they have taught their children to have their ways. They have taught their children to think like them and to act like them, okay? And if she's a woman that lacks substance, self-respect, values, self-worth, 9 times out of 10, she's going to put those same characteristics within those children. Okay, it's common sense. She's the primary parent. Okay, whatever they see her do, whatever they hear her say, however she feels, they're going to, those same ways are going to rub off on them. If she's disrespectful and out the mouth, you're going to go through the same thing. And I want to definitely vibe with you men on this one, because I know some of you men who have really been really good dads, and you might notice a lot of changes in your children where they're being disrespectful to you. It's kind of like you're dealing with another version of the baby mama, except you're dealing with it through your son, or you're dealing with it through your daughter. And a lot of that has to come with they're still wet behind the ears. They're still drinking Similac. They're not emotionally developed enough to understand. Mama is using me to feel the way she feels, you know, and that's the majority. A lot of these bitter baby mamas, they want these children to feel the same way about you that they feel about you. So if you're going through change with your son, your daughter, they talking to you all kind of way, they being disrespectful and saying all kinds of things out their mouth. A lot of that comes from the bitter baby mama being a puppet master. She's bashing you around. She's bashing your name around them. She's talking negative about you, and because that's constantly what they hear, that's what they constantly believe. And sometimes you may not be involved in their life, not because you don't want to have a relationship with them, but it's just the fact that you got to go through her to have a relationship with them. And in some instances, I can't blame you men. You know, call it what you want to call it. I may get a lot of thumbs down. A lot of women be like, how dare you discourage a man that not have anything to do with his children. I'm like this: if he's gonna have to deal with drama to deal with you, he gonna have to go through you with the drama to have a relationship with them. Unless he's man enough, unless he's strong enough to be able to look past that and it not bother him. But if he knows he the kind of man, he's tired of his patience being tried, and he don't like to be disrespected, it is better to disengage than to put yourself in a situation where you get disrespected and you feel like you're gonna have to prove you're not the cottonelle tissue Negro she's out to make you be. Okay, so before you get yourself in a situation, it's better to disengage, do for your child from a distance. And when they get older, then you'll have to explain to them. Other than that, I don't recommend any man, if you know you're being disrespected by the mother of your child, don't be trying to fight your right to step in and force yourself to be there, because you don't need the law in your business, because that'll be the next thing. Women like this, they very malicious. You know, they'll want you to be there for the child, but when they want you to not be there because they mad or whatever reason, they going through their own BS and taking it out on you, they'll take it to the next level, but they'll get the law involved and all of this other stuff. Some people just have to face it. Some people are just so damn miserable. They don't mind trying to make somebody else's life miserable. Before you allow the mother of your child to make you miserable, disengage. Move on with your life. Pray about it. If you can sneak and see that child here and there or whatever to make your presence still known, do what you got to do. But all that trying to kiss ass and kiss butt and all that to be there, and you know, sometimes women see humbleness for weakness. And ain't just women, people period. They see humbleness for weakness. They see respect for cowardice. You try to be humble and you try to be quiet because you don't want no beef to see your child. And the more quiet you are, the more she turns it up. You know what I'm saying? So until that child is old enough, or unless you know you the type of father, you still got a type of authoritative influence, you know, back up, disengage before you get yourself in a situation, because You don't want to put your hands on that child for disrespecting you. Sometimes as they get older, sometimes people learn more when you walk away. You know what I'm saying? When they by themselves, you know, and daddy not there because he had to separate himself from the drama because the baby mama was being too difficult and not allowing him to be there. As that child gets older, they will start to put their two and two together and realize, you know, daddy tried to be there. I see the way mama is with me, because eventually when you're not there, she's going to have to find somebody else to take that misery out on, which is the child. So when that son and when that daughter experiences it, the light will click like, oh, I see why dad, I see why mom ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got to let these children, but they got to go through in order to learn, you know, and you just got to explain that. I apologize, daddy wanted to be there, but here's my receipts to show you that I didn't just completely forget about you. I was sending my child support. I was sending you Christmas gifts. If you didn't get them, it's not my fault. I was there. You know what I'm saying, fellas? So always cover yourself regardless of what. Okay, so the next one is, this is the other issue about being a step parent. Sometimes step parents get ambushed because there was already issues with before your involvement. That happens a lot. A lot of the time, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to get the 100% truth from the baby mama or the man you with or the woman you with and the baby daddy. Everybody got their own version of what the hell happened. Like my father used to tell me, it's always 3 sides to a story. Her side, his side, and the truth. Okay, a lot of times out of 10, it already been a damn mess before you get involved. But a lot of women tend to do. Men, y'all don't really mix up in the drama. But women, we try to be the janitors. We try to be the clean up person. We try to come in and clean up all the mess that was already there before we got involved. Let me tell you something. The better you stay out of your husband's affairs with her and vice versa, whatever, the better off you'll be. Okay, because the bottom line is they both know each other very well. They've been together before you came in the picture. Okay, you know, she trying to run game on him, he may be trying to run game on her, so they can get what they can get between the kids or whatever. And just don't get yourself caught up in the web. Don't get caught up in the hype. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of step parents, we get ambushed because we try to come in and fix up things, especially if you're the kind of person who likes peace. I like peace. I like to see everybody get along. I like to see everybody have an understanding. But I've learned in the magical world, some people are just straight nasty. They don't want no understanding. They don't want to get along. They don't want a reason. They just like to fight. Okay, so don't get caught up in the hype. Okay, let them handle it. They grown. Long as you're not getting disrespected in it or getting hurt in it, that's all that matters. As long as it's not affecting your house personally, don't even get involved. Now, these are the ways where you kind of cope with the situation, okay? First thing is address your mate, not the parent. If there's an issue with the kids, you know, if you and your parent, you and the mate have a good communication and y'all supposed to communicate well. If y'all got communication issues, then y'all shouldn't even be together. Address it with them, okay? Don't step over that man to go address his baby mama and vice versa, okay? Because sometimes the baby mama could receive it better from him than coming from you, because the bottom line, ladies, they don't like us. So even when we try to approach them, they're going to have their wall up like, that sure is you. I ain't never had my child from you and blah, 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 because they already don't like you. So you wasting your time even trying to reason with them, okay? That's like trying to reason with a nigga on parole, you know what I'm saying? On death row, you know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen. So let him be the one to address her, okay? Same thing with the guys. Let the woman address, you know, the baby daddy, okay? You know, long as it don't get out of line, only step in when you know you need to step in when things are getting too out of hand. Other than that, they grown. Let them handle it, okay? Again, only adjust the parent if they say or do something out of pocket directly towards you. In other words, don't try to fight your mate's battles. You know, I used to always try to fight my husband's battles. I did not like to see him getting disrespected, him getting tried, but I understand that he was handling it in his own way. He was being humble for his reasons, okay? At the time, I couldn't understand it, but later on, he told me why he did things the way he did it, and it worked out in our favor, okay? So sometimes, you know, just because you don't see your mate handle it the way you think they should handle it, that don't mean they're less than a man, less than a woman. It's just that they know how to deal with that person. If they do it your way, it could always make things way more catastrophic. You know what I'm saying? So don't involve yourself unless that person is disrespecting you. Now, if she calls you out your name and you standing there, or she says something out of pocket to you, then you address them directly. Other than that, when it comes to their kids, or when it comes to them bad mouthing each other, don't even get involved in that. It's just straight foolishness. Next thing, realize that some baby mamas like difficulty. Difficulty makes them comfortable. So if you try to make peace, a drama baby mama will dismiss it. Some women, I've learned this from personal experience, some women don't like peace. They don't like to get along. A lot of them have this attitude that if they get along with you, they feel like that means they weak. They feel like that makes them vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? To getting along with you. They'd rather be at war with you because that makes them feel like they're in control. When in actuality, things get out of control. You know what I'm saying? Because what these baby mamas are not realizing, that the woman that's with their baby fathers are the backbone. Okay. When that father has to work, that child is left in your custody. One thing about you bitter baby mamas, what y'all don't understand is, last thing you want to do is piss off the woman that's with the father of your child, because you got some women out here that's malicious. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got some women that ain't playing that. You know, and I'm not wishing this on anybody, but you get some women that get so tired of getting disrespected, they'll hurt that child just to prove a point. You know what I'm saying? I've never been like that, but you got some women with whatever it takes to make you see that they're not going to play with you and tolerate you disrespecting them, or they can not even put their hands on them. And I wouldn't recommend any woman ever hurting somebody's child. Just don't even be with the father, because for one, you got to respect that father, even if you don't respect the mother, because that's his baby. Never hurt somebody else's child. But what these other women are not understanding is that a woman could get fed up to the point to where she don't even want to get involved with your child. Okay, your child is missing out having another adult that can be there for them. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, just like I said, some women just love to be difficult. Once you know they're difficult, don't even waste your time. If it's too much exit, don't invest any more time. You've been in this situation for a while. You see it's too much. You see you can't reason with the man you with, the woman you with, and you can't reason with the co-parent, then it is time to disengage. Don't even waste your time. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to have somebody on your team that's going to understand where you're coming from. And if both of them got this attitude, these are our kids, and what we're going to do what we're going to do, then guess what? You need to stay with your baby mama, and you need to stay with your baby daddy, and let me get the hell on. You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to be janitor. Don't clean up somebody else's mess now. And leave the drama between the parents. And lastly, kids come first. That's the bottom line. These kids come first. You know, whether people want to believe it or not, everybody that you know, what people got to understand is everybody's involved. You know, every function, y'all both are going to be there. Whether if that child has a basketball game, whether if that child's graduating from high school, y'all going to always have to deal with each other. Y'all going to always have to be around each other at one point or another. As long as there's some drama and there's some division there, that child is going to sense it. You know what I'm saying? We have to set examples, because your children may end up getting involved with somebody else who has kids. And if they see how their mama badmouth their stepmama, they're going to do the same thing. They're going to be badmouthing their companions' mate around their child. I mean, certain curses have a way of just going on and on and on and on. You know, we have to lead by examples. It is about the children. Baby mamas got to learn to keep their own personal agenda, their own personal feelings. However you feel about that man, that's you. That's how you feel. Don't try to coerce. Let me see if I pronounce that right. Coerce your children to feel the way that you feel. Okay, because you're not going to always be here. God forbid something happens to you. These same people you badmouth them may have to be here for your children. And guess what? Your children are going to resent them because of the impression you left on them. You know what I'm saying? People don't want to think that deep. I mentioned it in one of my videos. But I may do a part 2. It all depends. Just be very careful being a step parent. That's a responsibility. That's a privilege, not a right. And just know that means whatever decisions you make, you are affecting somebody else's lives. That goes for the step parents, and that goes for the parents of the biological parents of that child. This is your girl, Lady Mocha. I know this was a long message, but it's so much to be said about being a step parent. It is a lot. It is not easy because you're dealing with so many factors. But hit me up. Email me, cafedaypettery79@yahoo.com. Remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification button. I also have my PayPal account for those who want to submit. Even if you don't, believe me, it's fine with me. You still welcome to dine at Cafe Day Petteries. It's your girl, Lady Mocha, and I am out.